Contaminated fuel over at BPL. Another family mourns as a fire leaves several others homeless and a loved one dead. And police report an increase in counterfeit bills. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah Cooper with your JCN News for this Tuesday, May 4th. Works Minister Desmond Bannister explaining the string of planned power cuts across the capital this morning. He says Bahamas Power and Light received a batch of contaminated fuel. Here's Laurencia Smith with that story.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works Desmond Bannister revealing to the media just before joining cabinet ministers for the weekly cabinet meeting that the Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited BPL was recently suspected to have received a batch of contaminated fuel. This revelation follows a statement issued by the power company on Monday evening confirming that they were currently experiencing issues with fuel logistics at the Blue Hills power plant. The service provider in question, Sun Oil Limited.
They are working now with the supplier to seek to get fuel that's not contaminated, get it in the system, and we're anticipating that things will work out okay. If there's outages, they'll be short, they'll be in isolated areas, but we don't anticipate that there's going to be any widespread outages.
Our news team reached out to the power company to find out exactly when they received the batch of suspected contaminated fuel. They, however, declined to provide any further information on the matter.
When BPL used this fuel, it caused some challenges with their engines. They've gone through a whole bunch of parts, replacing of parts, replacing filters and other challenges because of this fuel. So they have to get the fuel out of their engines.
Asked if the fuel company has any plans to reimburse BPL, the minister says this.
On the financial side of it, these challenges are always worked out with the supplier appropriately. You have reputable Bahamian companies that have done it for years, and BPL will work with them to ensure that whatever the challenges are financially, they'll be worked out. We're more concerned with being able to guide the public and advise the public of possible challenges.
That statement from BPL says that the electricity consumer may experience short outages as a result of this, adding that they are working jointly to stabilize the power supply while corrective actions are implemented. Minister Bannister says that he doesn't see the contaminated fuel being an issue going into the summer months. I'm Laurencia Smith for JCN News.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force has asked its department heads to prepare for the possibility of an early general election by providing a list of personnel who will vote in an advance poll by Thursday, May 6th. This directive was given via a memo signed by Acting Captain Sean Adderley on April 29, 2021. Now, just before the weekly cabinet meeting this morning, Minister of National Security Marvin Dames responded to questions by reporters about whether or not this was an indicator of an early election. Here's his response.
Now, we know that these agencies will often prepare earlier than most. That is not out of the ordinary, and so I won't read too deeply into that.
Have you instructed the RBDF to conduct this exercise?
No, I won't read too deeply into that. As I said before, this is a normal occurrence, and I don't think you should be reading too deeply into that either. Only one person will determine the date of the election, and he hasn't yet done so.
So that memo came out. Are you now shooting down assertions that an early election is afoot?
No, I said what I said. You should not read deeply into that.
Minister Dames continued to insist that activities like this are not out of the ordinary, as these agencies would often begin preparation in advance. An early election being called has been speculated for some time now, but Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis has repeatedly shot those rumors down. As it stands, election isn't due until next year. An early morning fire here in the capital leaves a family grieving as the body of their loved one was burned beyond recognition in a blaze on Fritz Lane and 7th Terrace, Centerville. Firefighters were called to the scene at a building that was home to several families, 4 businesses, and a church. Police say it was sometime around 3 a.m. when that fire started. Police Press Liaison Officer Assistant Superintendent Audley Peters told reporters on the scene that firefighters met the 2-story structure engulfed in flames.
The units responded, and on their arrival they met the top portion of a 7-unit, 2-story structure
engulfed in flames. The officers proceeded to extinguish the fire. Sometime around 6 a.m., that process was completed, and they conducted a search of the building and discovered the body of a charred remains in a bathroom door of an unidentified person.
While police say they await identification through next of kin, JCN's news team was able to identify the victim as 47-year-old Jcn Tv, affectionately known as Cy. Now, this is the second massive blaze within a matter of days. On Sunday, 10 structures went up in flames, 6 of them completely destroyed and 4 partially damaged. Police believe this morning's blaze was a result of a lit candle that was left unattended and sends this message to the public.
We want to encourage individuals to put smoke alarms and smoke detectors rather in their buildings so as to assist in mitigating fires of this nature. We also want to encourage individuals to not light candles before going to bed or to leave their electric supply appliances in a position where the electric shortages may not occur. This is a sad situation at the moment, and a second incident of this nature within the last few days. And so we ask members of the public to continue to take the precautionary measures to mitigate these fires from occurring.
As for an update on Sunday's fire, ASP Peters says a director of fire services in the Royal Bahamas Police Force has said they are following some leads, and in due course, if that information is to be made public, it will be made available. Police are continuing their investigation to determine the exact cause of this morning's blaze, as they advise members of the public to take precautionary measures. Following that early morning structural blaze that took place on Fritz Lane and 7th Terrace, Centerville, Judith Glinton, a mother of 4, sat on a nearby wall and watched as firefighters worked to contain flames that consumed the building she once called her home.
I heard my brother say, get up, get up, get up, a fire in the place. So I say, I still don't catch myself because I was sleeping. He said, yeah, get up, fire in the place. So only thing I could do is just, I was like panicked, and my brother passed and get my mother, and my stepdaddy run back in the kitchen because he old and he stable like that. So, and a next lady was living next door, but my children was here. I had a little one, a 3-year-old, and the 15-year-old passed and picked up the 3-year-old one. And the 7-year-old and the 10-year-old get up and they come out. So after I realized the next lady was living next door by us, so I ran back inside and gone call her. But after that, I see the smoke, I couldn't see nothing.
Ms. Clinton says she lost everything, while adding that she's still in shock. The lower floor of a 2-story building also housed several businesses and a church, which received extensive water damage. Body of Jesus Christ Pastor Uriah Davidson says they have been in the space for 11 years.
I'm a man of faith, and I believe that all of this happened because I prayed that God would give us a way to move into our own sanctuary, and this is what God is doing. This is His way of doing it, and I believe that we're going to bounce back from this even better in the community.
Investigation into the matter is ongoing by the fire department. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.